Hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday and welcome to Desires and Inspirations very first YouTube video hop. We're so happy that you joined us today. We have a few different people on our lineup. We have actually four, not a few. We have four. I'm Lisa and I'm with Heart's Desire. If we have not met before, I'm so happy to meet you and would love to get to know you more. If you would please hit that subscribe button and come back and see me again. Next up will be Shauna with Fraps and Scraps, and y'all are going to love her. I've been watching a lot of her lately, and she's just very soothing and relaxing to listen to and super, super talented. And then after her will be Teresa with Jeremiah Dreams, and she is crazy talented as well. I don't know what these ladies have planned, but it's going to be good. And then finishing up tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time will be Christy with Funky Junk Inspiration. And there's always some funky fun with her, right? So we're so glad that you're here. Would love for you to take a moment to just relax and enjoy yourself, and be sure and say hello in the comments. Tell us where you're watching from. And in the description is the link for each and every presenter. And we would love to have you subscribe and come back and see us. So without further ado, let's talk about our project today. I couldn't decide if I wanted to do something Christmassy or not. Hey there, Christy. So I decided we're going to do something Christmas. So I have been wanting to do this bell, and I've already done some prep work. So what we have is this 22-inch jingle bell. See, it's got the jingle bell, got the little holes cut out down there. And I painted it brown because I'm going to paint red. I'm not red, I'm doing white. I'm going to paint white over it, and then we're going to distress it using a candle. Have you ever used a candle to do any distressing on your paint projects? Tell me in the comments. Let me know. So we're going to do that today, and then we'll glue this on it. Then we're going to make a bow and add some greenery. So, hey, Brenda, how are you doing? Good to see you. All right, so we're going to get started. Now, I used Folk Art chalk paint in the color Java. That's my brown that I want in my base. And then I'm going to use Rust-Oleum in the white linen. That is also chalk paint. And we are going to paint that over. We're going to use our candle to distress it. You haven't used the candle yet, but you just got one. Hey there, Gina. So you can use any candle. It does not matter. It doesn't have to be scented. It doesn't have to be any particular color. The color is not going to affect your project. I just have these that I pick up at yard sales, and I've used this one for probably 2 years, and I still have it. So it doesn't take a whole lot. Okay. So all you're going to do is take your candle and rub it along the edges where you want it distressed. So I want mine to be distressed where the obvious parts would be distressed on an old bell, right? So I'm just going to put that candle wax. Can you see that? I'm going to do this overhead shot so you can see both directions as well. So we're just going to do that candle wax right there along the edges. We're just going to put it on heavy. And what this does is it keeps your paint from adhering to the base level of paint. And when you paint that base color, it doesn't have to be perfect or anything like that. It just needs to be covered. If you don't have good solid coverage, it's okay. It doesn't matter. And if you want, the heavier you want your distressing, the more wax you're going to put on your piece, okay? But I'm just going to do it on the edges. Now, where this piece is going to glue right here, I'm not going to put the wax there because I want this to glue and stick to that, right? So we don't want to put wax because we want our glue to adhere. So we're just going to go around the edges just like that. I don't really spend a whole lot of time on this part. I just kind of go around the edges and keep on trucking. Do my edges and my little holes because those are usually a little banged up too. just the cutest project. I love bells. I used to collect bells, so I have a special love for them, I guess. I don't collect them anymore. But hey there, Mary. Hey. Then I'm just gonna kind of put the wax, do some strips around here, you know, different directions, because rust don't really happen uniform. And there we go. And I went right across the center of that. Did y'all see that? Okay. So now we're going to put our chalk paint over here on our palette. Let's see, that might not be enough. Put a little bit more. I couldn't decide if I wanted to red or white, and I decided I wanted to do white because I have something special I want to add to our bow, and I wanted that to stick out. So here we are. So then you just kind of, and I do use like the cheap sponge brushes. I do use those for this part because I don't want that wax in my good paint brushes. And that top piece is going to go here, so I don't really have to worry about the center, but I do it anyway just in case some of it's peeking out, right? You want to kind of go in the same direction with your paint. If you have any questions, put those down below. Don't forget to tell me where you're watching from. We're in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and it has been a beautiful, sunny, blue sky day here today. It got pretty warm, I think. I just cranked the air conditioner on because it's warm in here. There we go. Get that covered. We're going to let it dry, and then we'll go back and do the distress work. So we painted our base color. I had that done before we came live. Then we used our candle, went around and put candle wax where we want our edges to that brown to peek through. And now we're going over it with our white to give it the coverage that we want. I want it to be a little more solid coverage than that. So let's dry that and then we'll add. 71 in Indiana. That's like a perfect day too. Is that like 71? Is that comfortable in Indiana? Is your weather kind of like ours? I'm a Carolina girl. I haven't been many places other than the Carolinas, so I'm clueless when it comes to all that stuff. So we're just going to dry this so we can put another coat on it. If you paint your second coat while your paint is still wet, all that's doing is moving paint around. You're not really getting any good coverage. So you want to make sure your first coat is dry. Or dry-ish for chalk paint, you know. Chalk paint dries pretty fast. Another good thing when you use the wax to distress, when you sand it to make your other color peek through, it gives it a really soft, like a smooth, silky feeling. Hello there, Tamara. How are you? 79 in West Tennessee. I don't know if it got that warm here today or not. I never did check. I don't really check the weather. I'll leave that in the news up to Jonathan. If there's something I need to know, he tells me. I do have the weather app, and yesterday 2 different hurricanes got named, so that was fun. Fortunately, they're not going to mess with us, though. In November, hurricanes in November, but, you know, it's still hurricane season. So we shouldn't be surprised by that. All right. So we got that part. Let's see, did that get dry enough? I got dry enough. We can put more on there. 74 in Georgia. So have y'all been painting and crafting today? What's your day been full of? I did paperwork this morning. That was always fun. And then I was getting set up for this, watching some training videos for a master class I signed up for. What else did I do today? 82 in Orlando. I think Brenda wins. I'm sure I did something else today, but I couldn't tell you what it was. Oh, Brenda. Brenda's working. Well, somebody's got to do it, right? I've been working too. I'm fortunate that this is my work and I get to be at home doing this. So the paperwork that comes along with it is really nothing to complain about, right? If we didn't have sales taxes to pay, it means we wouldn't have any sales. So hello there, Tamara. Oh, you cleaned out the bathrooms. Yeah, Christy's having work done at her house tomorrow, I think. Oh, Gina, I can't wait to see your Christmas lights. Hey there, Mary. Good to see you. Appreciate y'all being here for our first video hop. It's so exciting. We've been talking about doing this, and we finally were like, you know what? We just got to get that planning on the schedule. Let's do it. Let's do it. So y'all be sure and subscribe to each one of us. The links are down in the description, and I have the all the links for all the socials and all the shopping and all the things down there for mine as well. And I'm sure each of the ladies will do that too. We appreciate you being here and would love for you to share it out too. Let people know that we're here. This is kind of I'm not really new on YouTube. I have quite a few videos on YouTube, but I haven't done a whole lot of lives over here. So it's kind of a new thing. And me and Christy decided we were going to kind of do it together and hold each other accountable, make sure that we're showing up. So we're going to do this every other Thursday night. We'll be here and some in between, I'm sure. But we are not going to have like every other Thursday is going to be a little bit different. So you never know what you're going to get. Sometimes it'll be me and her together. Sometimes it'll be one of us first and we'll go back to back. Other times it'll be like tonight we'll have guests that will graciously join us and share their talent with you as well. So it's exciting. Very exciting. Hey, Shauna. There's Shauna with Fraps and Scraps. She is up next. I was telling them how relaxing it is to watch you and to listen to you. You explain things so well. The last thing I watched today from your channel was the stained glass. That was awesome. And you're right. You were talking about the transparency film is kind of a lost thing. Most people don't use it anymore, except really for crafts, right? We used that to make some nativity ornaments a few years. So, all right. So we have that. That's good enough coverage on that. I'm going to put some more on this, and then we'll move on and work on our bow. Gina, I'm not sure if it is or not. I will have to check. If it's not, I will send you the link for it. I know I did a couple of different videos. I bet you one of them is on YouTube. But I will, if I don't send that to you by this evening, send me a message to remind me and I'll get that for you, okay? All right. So if you're just joining us, you weren't here in the beginning, we have a big old jingle bell. I painted it brown. This is the back. I painted it brown. And then we used candle to put around the edges where we want to distress it. And then we painted with the white Rust-Oleum white linen to cover it. We're going to let it dry and then we're going to distress it. You're going to see how easy it is to distress it now that we have that candle wax on there. Hey there, Kelly. Thank you for popping on. I hope you're resting. All right, so let's dry this. Let's get it dry. I don't think I saw anybody in the comments say that they had used a candle for distressing before. I've seen a lot of people, and I've actually done it once, use Vaseline. Have you used the Vaseline method to do distressing? There was some paint globs in here. I'm just using my finger to smooth it out. Because what do we say around here? Painted hands are happy hands. I know, Kelly. That's horrible. So it did come back as the flu. That's horrible. I'm so sorry. So let's get this dry. So I did the Vaseline method one time, and the way that we do around here is we try everything that we try first on a live. We don't really practice and do things ahead of time so that we'll know how to explain it, because the way that we look at it is mistakes are going to happen. You're going to run into problems, and we need to be able to face those together, right? So that way when you're doing a project, then you'll know what to do. Only the crackle medium. Oh, the crackle is cool too. I do like crackle. Now, the crackle medium I've used before is by Folk Art, but then I also have had a lot of success using the white school glue. I like the way the crackle comes out. I hadn't done that in a while. That would actually be pretty on this too. But I might have to paint another one of these because I do love it. I'm getting paint all over me because I forgot my apron. But that's okay. That's what I do, is paint. Yes, y'all please pray for Kelly and her family to get better. Tamara, have you used the white glue for crackle or just the crackle medium? Okay. It's still a little bit sticky. I'm going to let it sit over here and dry while we work on our bow. Y'all want to make a bow? Raise your hand if you're a bow maker. Are you a bow maker and obsessed with bow making? I'll raise my hand to that too. Move this paint. Get all the paint out of the way because I don't want paint on my ribbon. I don't mind getting paint on anything except my ribbon. I don't want paint on my ribbon. It might be a cool project though to paint some ribbon and see how that comes out though. Oh, Tamara. Tamara, did you take my bow making class? Trina is just about as obsessed with ribbon as I am. That's true. You've had the best luck with the school glue too? Yep. That worked really good. And it's a lot cheaper. I will say though that folk art crackle medium is pretty much guaranteed a perfect turnout every time. So there is that, you know. Jonathan tells me all the time, don't go cheap. Get what you need. All right, so let's move this out of the way so we can make us a bow. We're going to make a bow. We're going to add some greenery. So this is our ribbon. If I can turn it over without dropping it. So we have a plaid that's got some dark teal and brown, cream, and some gold. And then we have some dark teal. And then we have some gold. There you go. That's what we're using today. I do too, y'all. I have like a whole ribbon wall back there. Y'all know that. If you're not new to me, you know that. If you're new to me, stick around and you'll see my ribbon wall eventually. Because I love ribbon. And I very rarely do a live without at least showing ribbon. Even if I'm not using ribbon, I show some ribbon. So let's do, let's make our bow. This wire is too thick. Let me grab this other wire. I like to use 24 or 26 gauge wire. It's easier to work with. It doesn't knot and kink up as much. And I'm going to cut me a strip about, I want to have plenty of wire. So I'm going to cut my strip about 36 inches. That's probably way too much, but that's okay. We can cut some off, but we can't glue any on. A large and ever expanding ribbon wall. That's right. That's music to my ears. That's funny. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half. So see, this side has two open ends, and this side over here is a loop. And we're going to put that down on the bottom. That's what we're going to start with. Now, I've already put some of these pine branches. What I did was just use a wire and attached them. So I have one for each side of my bow. So I'm going to put that down in there. And we may add more. And if we do, we can always add it after we've assembled it. But I think that might be how we leave it. So I always dovetail the ends of my ribbon. So you just fold it in half and cut it at an angle up towards the wired edge. Yep, Trina's working on her ribbon wall. It looks pretty cool so far. Everybody needs a ribbon wall, in my opinion. It makes me happy. All right, so we're going to start. Let's see, what do I want on my base? I think I want the gold on the base. I'm going to do, let's see, I'm going to do about an 8-inch tail, and I may change that later. And then I want my loops to be, let's start the loops because I don't want it to, it's going to start my loops at 5 inches. I don't want it to go past my greenery because I want that to stick out too. So we're going to go out to the 5-inch mark on our bow maker. I'm using the 4-in-1 Pro Bow the Hand 4-in-1 tool, multi-purpose tool. And this is truly an amazing thing. You can do so much with it. I used it yesterday when I made my Santa mesh wreath. It came in handy. Get it handy. Oh, thank you, Trina. So I'm going to do 2 loops of each ribbon color on each side, 2 on each side. So we'll have 4 loops of each ribbon. So you push it down in there, make sure you twist it. Even though these are all the same on both sides, I twist it just out of habit because say we have an ugly side and a pretty side, you have to make sure that your pretty side's going to show. Yep. Even taught Jonathan how to make bows. That's right. That's right. He does leave the bow making to me, though, because I love it so much. I leave everything kind of lined up together, and then when I put it on my project, that's when I kind of shift and do everything. So I have the gold, and then we're going to do this teal in the center. Trina, that's funny. That's funny. All right, so we're going to go a little bit shorter on the tail, and then we're going to go a little bit shorter on the loop. So you can do this if you want measurements. You can do this about 4.5 inches. I really just kind of eyeball it because the way that I look at it is it's going to be perfect when I'm done, because when I'm done and I love it, that's what makes it perfect. It's not the measurements. It's what makes me smile. That is the perfect project. That is the perfect bow. For a long time, I didn't even make bows because I was so intimidated by seeing how people made other bows, and I just wouldn't make them, and I would get so frustrated. And I can't even tell you how much ribbon I used to buy and give away or donate or whatever. But then one day I was like, you know what? I'm just going to master this thing, and it's going to be the way that I like it. And I took probably the instruction of 5 different people and combined them into one, and that's when I made my first pretty bow. Oh, yeah. Now, you can buy that holder without buying the big bow maker. They do sell just the holder. Just FYI. So we're going to go again. We're going to go a little bit shorter, and this one's probably going to be about 3.5 inches in the center. Okay. And then I'm going to do one more smaller, so we'll have that little loop in the center, you know what I'm saying? And then we'll have our tail. We'll have our 2 tails on one side, so that's not going to work, Lisa. That's not going to work. So I'm going to put something else in the center. So I'm just talking myself out of what I'm instructing you. Ignore that last loop. No, the ribbon does not touch the floor. We were watching someone on TikTok, and I love to watch them. They make really pretty bows. They have really pretty designs and stuff like that. But when they make their bows, they toss it in the floor and make it, and it just stresses me out so bad. So bad. Okay. So now we have our bow. You know what I did? I only did 2 loops on the top. I only did 2 loops on the top. So what we're going to do, we're just going to keep building on it. See what I'm saying? This is why we do our live, so everybody can see what can happen. You know, because you get to chatting or you get to watching your soaps or whatever. anybody still watch soap operas? Whatever you're watching, or you're watching your craft videos or your mystery shows or your sermons or whatever you're watching, and you get all fired up and distracted and you cut your ribbon. That's what I just did, but it's okay because it's that easy to fix. And now we're fixed. We have 2 loops on each side. We have some extra tails, but that's all right. That is all right. It's ribbon abuse. That's right. Okay, so now remember we have on one side, let me hold it up to the camera. On the one side, we have the 2 open ones, and on the other side, we have the loop. Okay, so we went in from one side to the other because when we loop it together, that's going to tie all the bundle up, right? Okay. All right. So I'm going to just even that out. And you want to stay in the center of those. Stay in the center while you tighten it, and that's going to hold your bow together. You don't have to use wire. You can use zip ties, you can use pipe cleaners or chenille stems, whatever you want to call them. Your TV don't come on until your husband comes home from work. Well, there you go, Gina. If my TV's on, it's usually got YouTube videos on. We don't have cable TV, so our TV is not on very often at all. About the only time we have it on is we'll watch, like we like to watch Jensen Franklin, so we'll watch a sermon on YouTube on the TV. So you just take one on one side, one on the other, come back around, and then you just want to twist. Now, when you go to tighten your bow, yeah, watching all your crafting friends, that's right. When you tighten your bow, you don't want to twist your wire. You want to twist your bow, and that's going to get it tighter, okay? Don't twist your wire, twist your bow. Okay? All right. And you know what I forgot to bring? I forgot to bring my poof box over here. Let me grab it. I'm sorry. I'm right here. Don't go anywhere. So, we got our poof box. Oh, that's why we did that, Shauna, because the TV was never on. The TV was never on, and we're like, why are we paying all this money and we don't even watch it? So our poof box just has a hook and some nails in there. So you just take that wire and put it under the hook, and then you use those nails to stabilize it. So you just twist it around there. Twisting it around there once is sufficient. Okay. So then you can put it under there. You can put it off to the side. Okay. So now we're going to poof our bow. So I'm going to do my tails one direction. And I usually end up cutting my tails because I don't always like long tails. But we're going to see what happens when we put this thing together. Aren't these pretty together? Look how pretty those are together. So you start from the bottom and do your poofing. So we got our 2 gold ones there. And you've got this thing secured, so you can kind of be rough with it. You can kind of be rough with it. That's right. No ribbon on the floor. Not acceptable. Crazy people. I don't watch them very much because it just stresses me out. Isn't it funny, the things that we get all wound up about? Trina's going to go home and do a bow live. All right. So then you want to do the teal one next. And I don't get mine all the way perfect on the poof box because when I put it on my sign or my wreath or whatever I'm putting it on, it's going to kind of get smushed. So the board, Luann, the board has an eye hook with an opening in the center, and then all the way to the edge. all the way to the edge. It just has a nail. When I take it off, I'll show you again. So you just want to kind of get your general feel of what it's going to look like and what kind of adjustments you might want to make. I love this plaid ribbon right here. I think it's just gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Oh, okay, Anne, thank you. Enjoy dinner and work. Let me know what you think of the finished product. Okay. I could just keep messing with it, but I'm not going to. I don't want to run out of time. So what do you think? So we're going to set that to the side. Let's get our ribbon out of the way. I rarely say those words out loud. And then let's pull this up here. This is good and dry now, so we're going to use our sandpaper and just go along the edge. And see how easy that paint comes off because we have that candle on there? See how easy that comes off? Look at that. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. You can do, like I said, you can do it as little or as much as you want. So I'm just going to go around those edges. I do try to use an older sand block or piece of sandpaper because once you're done with this, that's done. Because it's got wax on it, you can't really use this to sand anything else. So go back around those edges. What do you think? Just a little bit on the edges. Probably could do more. Let's see if I use this one that's coarse, if I can get more off. I know that's probably not a pleasant sound. So like I said, this isn't like using the Vaseline method or even crackle. It gives a more subtle look. And you could even take, a scraper and scrape it that way where the wax is. And you can kind of tell where you have your wax. So if you kind of scrape it like that, it'll come off. So there's a different way if you don't want to deal with the sanding block. It'd probably do you a little bit better if you had a metal one. I'm getting focused and making me be quiet. Digging in. Yeah, I like it that way better. Hopefully I'm not shaking the camera to pieces and giving y'all vertigo either. We're doing real good with time. Okay. Now, let's do some more on the center of this piece. This also, another tip is to not use chalk paint. If you just use regular acrylic paint, it comes off easier. You can use chalk paint on your base, but if you use regular acrylic paint, it'll come off easier. But I like the chalk paint, so that's what I use. All right, so let's glue this down. Make sure you got it lined up. Y'all know what I'm about to say. This is my favorite so far. Is that the same with the Vaseline and the crackle method? Well, I don't think with the crackle method, because the crackle method, that just happens as the paint dries. So I've never used anything but chalk paint doing the crackle method. The Vaseline method is so gooey underneath that that's going to move real easy, whether you use chalk paint or acrylic paint. There's nothing like using the candle is more of a dry distressing, where the crackle method and the look at my hands where the crackle method and the Vaseline is wet. The candle wax is dry, so that's a little bit different. What do y'all think? Y'all love it? I love it. I love it. Get a little bit more off over here, I think. Use my little gator. I like that little thing too. And then, of course, our bow's going to be on top, hiding a lot of that. So, got this dust all over me. Okay, so there it is. The front's done. I'm going to get my dust brush, dust that off. Now we get to tie the bow on. Okay, so to take it off, you just undo your wire and just undo it from there. Okay, Luann. So this is just a 12 by 12 board. I think it's half an inch. This is a half an inch thick. You can use any kind of board material, anything that you have. You can also purchase the Pro Bow. The people that make my bow maker also designed the poof box. They do sell them, and they're thicker, they're beefier. But she said you can purchase it from her, or you can make your own. So Jonathan made mine. So you just get an eye hook. It's got the opening right there where your wire goes under it. That goes in the center, and then we put the nail here on the end. And sometimes I cut my wire too short, so we put an additional nail there. So if my wire doesn't reach here, it'll reach there. So hope you that helps. And then I put little gripper pads on the bottom so it don't slide. Okay. And that's the poof box. So this already has holes in it. So we're just going to put our wire, one wire in each hole, and these holes are way too big. So we're going to put that. And then on the back, I'm just going to twist it. I still have to paint the back. Just twist it around. And then there's our bow. So let's see. Put the bow up some more. You can curl your ribbon to where it's curled under. And that kind of lifts up your loops. You can make it as poofy as you want. You can trim those tails shorter. If you don't like the long tails, you can make your tails longer. That's all personal preference. Okay. So there's our bow. What do you think? I think it needs something else. It needs some jingle bells. Jingle bells. What do you think? Do we need to add some jingle bells in there? We can put like one big one there in the center. Or we can like have a cup, like one big one and a few smaller ones hanging down like down here. I think I like that idea better because then they'll have like freedom to make noise. What do you think? Hanging down from the center? See if this twine's gonna cooperate with me. The top ribbon is brown plaid. It's got gold and teal in it. So yes, brown and cream, and it has that dark teal in it. So we have one big one, and then we'll do a couple small ones. What do y'all think? I can get this twine through here. All right, we need some tape. My twine is too big for the smaller bells. Thank you. 5:48. Let's see if we can get this done. I definitely don't want to take up any of Shauna's time. So thankful, Shauna, that you agreed to be on here and do this with us. I'm going to feed these through the holes instead of attaching it to the bow. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm just feeding it through those holes. Get my wire back out of the way. Hey there, Angela. Pepper rock scissors. I don't know. Maybe it needs to be Maybe it needs to be another, instead of using the small ones, maybe it needs to be the big ones. What do y'all think? 2 of the big ones or 3? I know what Angela's going to say. We're doing 2 or 3 of these big bells. Oh, come on. Come on. Thank you. I'm glad y'all love it. I'm so glad that y'all were here with me and for commenting and chatting with me. If you haven't subscribed, we'd love to have you subscribe to our channel. What am I going to do? I'm going to do a knot. Yeah, I think so too. I'm going to do 3. Always odd numbers. Everybody says that, but I am an even number girl. I struggle with the odd numbers, y'all. I struggle. This has been a noisy live, hasn't it? Bow all twisted up, so let's get this together, poof it up once more, and then we'll give it a final poof and take a picture, and I'll come back and put that as the thumbnail on this video, because you know YouTube's different. We have to show you the picture with the thumbnail. So look at that. Isn't that awesome? I love it. I love it. I might have to like, you know what would look good? To tie a piece of greenery right there. So the greenery is, that's all right. That's what your sweet mama told you. We're going to go with it. Let me get one of these greenery garlands. So if we take one of these greenery garlands, and we twist this together, and then after I paint the back, I'll tighten that up. Look at that. Oh my goodness. This is about as perfect as I thought it was going to be, y'all. This is exactly what I envisioned. Don't you love it when a plan comes to action? Comes into action, whatever I'm trying to say. Look at that. Let's make the screen this way so you can see it. Isn't that pretty? I love it. I love it. I love the bells. I love the bells. It's perfect. All right. So what you could, you could, if you wanted, you could write something on there. But I honestly love it just like this. I don't want to do another thing to it. I will after I paint it, because that's what the back looks like right now. So I'll finish the back. And then, oh, thank you, Parthas. Y'all, that's my boy right there. I'm glad you love it. Usually I send him a picture of the project of the day, but he gets to be on here. He's on Facebook, so you don't see our Facebook lives. But he's on here. Isn't that cool, Patrick? I love it. There we go. There we go. We got 5 minutes to spare, too. What about that? What about that? So I think I'm going to trim those tails. I'll wait until I secure it. But I like that it has the little peak of greenery popping through. And I like that the bells go right in between those. So that is cool. So what do you think? What color would you paint yours? I started to do red. I told y'all that. So I might have to do a red version. And it would be cool to do the crackle method. Y'all got me wanting to do crackle now. But I wanted to use those bells. And I thought the bells, which you can't see it now, but I thought the bells wouldn't stand out as much on that dark crimson red. Absolutely, we can ship it to you. In case y'all didn't know it, everything that we do on here is for sale. It'll be listed in our Etsy shop, the painted version, or if you want to paint it yourself, you can buy blanks. Those are listed on our website. All those links are down below. And then most of our painted pieces sell off of Etsy. So, and if you see a size or a design, if you have a design or a size in mind that you don't see, please feel free to message us. We do love custom orders, and we can do like this one right here is 22 inches wide. We can go big, y'all. We have a big honking laser in our living room, and it likes to be ran. So there you go. Oh, a bronze one. A bronze one would be pretty. That would be pretty. Or, you know, if you had silver bells doing like that dark navy that I like to use so much. What is it called? The nautical. It's called nautical. The nautical chalk paint is that dark navy. That would be really good to do with silver bells. So thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate y'all so very much. Thank you for commenting, for the thumbs ups. And if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. And be sure, check my description and go check out Shauna with Fraps and Scraps. She's up next, and I can't wait to see what she's got planned for us. So I'm going to go ahead. Let's see. It's 5:58, so y'all have time to go take a quick potty break. But let her get set up, and you're welcome. Thank you for being on here with us. And if you were late, please go back and watch from the beginning at the end of the event so you can see what you missed. Y'all have a great night. Thank you so much. Talk to you later. Bye.